into the segment. Oh yeah, well, real quick. Since this will be out a week before the Greenville Comic Con, Greenville, North Carolina Comic Con. Not
yes,
Greenville, South
y'all
Carolina.
know Greenville, North Carolina, don't you? You've heard of it, I'm sure.
I'm sure you heard a little something.
Yeah, we've been in the news recently. We're really nice folks. Well, I'd say some of us are. I don't know about the rest of us.
I don't know about the rest of everyone. But
yeah.
So, but yeah, we the Greenville, North Carolina Comic Con is going to be happening on August 3rd, and William and I are going to be doing a panel there.
Yes.
What are we doing a panel about, William?
We're doing a panel, and we're calling it Animated 80s Adventures, Episode 1, Thundarr the Barbarian, and we were just talking about that beforehand, and these two guys were kind of too young to know about Thundarr. Although I played the intro, and Trey goes, "Wait a minute, I think I've seen that before." And I was like, "Well, yeah, you probably have." Thundarr the Barbarian was a cartoon out in the 1980s, from 80 to 81. It didn't last long. It was right before the toy merchandising picked up. I think if the toy merchandising had come out, I mean, you got because you know, honestly, you would have had so. It would kind of like Thundercats and He-Man. You would have had so many characters and action figures out because you had so many possibilities of, you know, mutant people and robots and flying ships and lasers and all the whole 9 yards. You had all this stuff out, but it came out right before that. It was right before the big barbarian craze. It kind of kicked it off. It came out a good 2 years before Conan the Barbarian and other type of barbarian movies, which we counted of like sword and sorcery movies. For example, from 1920 to 1980, there was 23 sword and sorcery type movies. But in 1980, there was like 46, 47. So in one decade, we had more than double the amount of movies of that type that came out from the 1920s to the 1980s. So the 80s was big on barbarians, right? And so the 70s kind of picked up a little bit, but really the 80s just took off.
And that was one of the ones.
That was the cartoon for sure. And if you're you know, after you get done listening to us, go check out Thundarr the Barbarian, the intro to the cartoon. It's completely different from any at least of that time period, because if you're coming off the 70s with all the live action silliness, is very kind of bold with that, like the music, the bum 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 bum, that really kind of the orchestral heavy type music. It wasn't silly like the Smurfs or any other, you know, kind of, you know, the frolicking creatures and the whatevers. Yeah, it was very bleak,
plot heavy,
very bleak, and you know, the world's destroying and volcanoes are erupting and people's houses are melting. I mean, it's just like, wow, that's intense for little kids. But man, as a preteen, man, I was like, holy cow, this is awesome, you know. But that's just it's kind of a rip off a little bit, at least the characters, a little bit of Star Wars with the barbarian, not a space Jedi guy, but he has a sword. It's a laser sword or a flamey sword, kind of a flaming sword. And then you have the princess, and you have the Mach, which is kind of like the Chewbacca Wookiee type thing. But he's not a Wookiee because it's on Earth, so he's kind of like a lion, cat, bear hybrid kind of creature. But he's a big, strong, bulky thing with you know, bashes stuff. Yeah, you know, so yeah, come check it out. We're going to learn the history of it, how it was created, kind of look back at some of the silliness of the 60s and 70s that led up to this. And then, of course, the toy stuff that kicked off right after that. Thundarr missed it by that much. So it's like, oh. Yeah. But it's a show that I love in terms of, it was kind of silly at times, but it mostly wasn't. And you had some really cool bad guys. Like at the beginning, you see the Gemini guy with his head rotates around, and it's like the nice guy face rotates, and all of a sudden you got the evil face, and he's shooting lasers out of his eyes. It's pretty cool.
Kind of Dr. Jekyll, Mr.
Hyde. Yeah, exactly.
Sort of.
It's pretty cool.
So some serious missed toy opportunities.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And he was like one of the big baddies on the show. I think he was in a few episodes because he was so powerful that you think you know, killed him or stopped him or, you know, whatever to him. And then he comes back, and you're like, oh crap, he's back.
Oh wait, it's a robot.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, yeah. So, but anyway, So check us out on October 3rd. August 3rd, when it's still hot. It'd be cool inside. So check us out.
Much cooler inside. Much cooler inside.
And I'll be actually in a costume. Hopefully, I'm working on my Kolchak the Night Stalker costume. Nice. You probably know who that is, right? She's like, no, I don't. I barely know who that is, just because I was alive at that time, but I didn't really watch it as I was a young kid. It's in the early 70s. Basically, it's kind of like the X-Files before the X-Files. It's like the kickoff to the X-Files, or the, you know, he actually. But you know what? The guy at the beginning of the show, he actually introed the show whistling.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's a
Awesome.
reporter. He's a
Awesome.
reporter.
Okay.
The guy's Kolchak's a reporter, and he like researches strange phenomena like zombies and vampires. And the first one was about a Jack the Ripper kind of thing. And basically, in the very first episode, he's like, "What if Jack the Ripper didn't die? What if he's lived throughout history and he kills a certain number of people every few years?" Which again is kind of like an X-Files episode where the one guy killed a few people every few years and went dormant. So it was kind of like Jack the Ripper in a way, but this was I don't know, he was some kind of weird hybrid person thing or something, but it was really cool. So
Yep, come check us out. On
Yeah, come
August
check us
3rd.
out.
I'll post the link and information in the description down below. So that'll be on the website and on YouTube.
yeah, I'm geeking out. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, man. Please. You know, I mean, that's what the Comic Con is for us to geek out.
That's true. That is true.
You know, release our inner geek without
That's
any
right.
judgment whatsoever.
Yep.
So,
I'm gonna get him a Thundarr T-shirt. He better wear it. Just y'all hold him to account. All right.
I'll have it on. I promise.
All right, cool.
So, but yeah, definitely go check that out. Follow us on the social media. You know, keep up with stuff like that because we're going to be posting about that as well. I'm going to try to live stream it. I'm not sure how well that's going to work. Depends on how the internet is there. But I'm going to try to live stream it. But definitely make sure you follow us on the social media. For those links will be in the description as you see them on the screen right now. But if you're listening, they are going to be in the description down below. Or if you're watching on the website, they're going to be up in the top right corner. And you can just follow us. Have all the comic nerd stuff that you want is right there at your fingertips, and we're going to talk about it.
So you're going to live stream our panel?
I'm going to try to.
Ooh, cool. That's
If
exciting.
the internet's good enough, I'll live stream it. If not, then I'm still going to be a video, regardless of which. It's still going to be a video, so you'll get to see it. But it's nothing like coming to see us live.
Yes.
Live is always better.
That's
It
right.
is. Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
In person.
Yes.